Welcome to the Daily Jerry Anderson podcast, which today initially feels the force of the anger of Carlos Interruptus, who eventually comes to the conclusion that he has been snubbed in the most grievous manner. Firstly, the presenter complains about being on network radio. They didn't like him on there before. Why should they like him now? I don't know if I like being on Radio 1, because it's bad for my image. Listen, look at this. Oh, sorry. Good morning, everyone. It's nice to be here. The number to ring if you want to contact this programme. The reason why I said it's nice to be here, do you know why I said that?
No.
Because it's nice to be here. And I meant that, most sincerely. I was in England the weekend doing a little interview with well-known Northern Ireland actor James Ellis for a special programme. It's going to be on, I think, at 6 or 7 o'clock on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, so I'll not be getting picked up then?
You won't be getting picked up.
I was told I was going, you see, so I was ready.
No, we decided at the last moment we didn't need
yes,
you.
it would have been nice if you and the Undertone had told me I wasn't going.
Well, you didn't know what golf course you were on, or else we would have combed the fairways. We couldn't find you at all. We tried Silly of Derry, and then we went to Faughan, but obviously you were not to be seen in any of them, so we gave up after that. We thought maybe you'd gone to Carnoustie. What do you call Shepherd's Glen? What do you call the one down there? Druids Glen. Is that the one you go to? Anyway, that's the one John Bennett goes to, but he has far more money than you have. Jimmy Ellis didn't say hello.
He didn't?
No. I said, do you remember Sean? He said, who? I said, remember the fellow used to work on the programme with me? He said, who was that again? I said, no, it's okay. No, very nice man. And what a lovely time we spent with him.
Right, explain to people what this is all about then.
It's just about, we thought it was time that somebody went and talked to Jimmy Ellis about areas of his life that he hadn't really talked too much about before. About his early days and about all kinds of things. We talked for hours and hours and hours. It's going to be a very interesting programme, not because I'm involved in it, but because of him, because of who he is, and because of the importance that he has in the Northern Ireland acting profession. He's a giant, towers above everyone. And without him, there wouldn't be Jimmy Nesbitt's, and there may not have been Liam Neeson's, there may not have been all kinds of people without him. He was the guy who paved the way. But he doesn't talk too much about that. He talks about his early days, and about, what it was like doing things that he did. And he was a very, very nice man. He is a very, very nice man. I really enjoyed being with him.
When can people hear it?
I just said,
when?
On St. Patrick's Day. Is it 6 or 7? 6 or 7
St. Patrick's Day?
St. Patrick's Day. What? Let me say that again. St. Patrick's Day.
Sure, we know when that is.
I know, but why do you keep saying St. Patrick's Day?
I never asked you the time.
It's 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock.
I never got round to that question.
It's 6 o'clock.
I just asked you, what day is it on? St. Patrick's Day. And then I would say to you, and what time can we expect to hear that at?
Don't be so aggressive just because you didn't come with it. You're aggressive. You're snapping at me. And
well, how would you feel if you were sat in the house with a little overnight bag packed, waiting to go to England, waiting for 2 guys to arrive in a taxi and pick you up and take you to the airport, and they didn't appear?
The presenter has set himself a mountain to climb, but the children and need people already have all the celebrities they need to pretend to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. He's decided to run the New York Marathon instead, a venture that is potentially fatal.
When do you start your training?
Soon.
No, when is soon?
I'm going to have professional advice, and there's no hurry, Sean. Don't push me. Because a man of my age cannot just rush into something like this. I'm taking professional advice. After all, you've only got one heart, and you know what they say? A good heart is hard to find. And I'm not going to destroy this one. I'm not going to fall down the street gasping like a goldfish. I'm going to be ready when I run my marathon. When I paint my masterpiece, when I run my big race, I want to make sure I don't die in the middle of it.
Because you have a very, very fat stomach.
I have not.
You have.
It's the vest.
No, it's not.
It's very thick material.
We're Jan.
Yes, Janet. Yeah, Emma's looking now. Yeah,
me and Emmett, we're looking.
Go on.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, not pulled in.
It's not been pulled in.
Janet, Emma says you have a spare tyre.
That's the way it is when it's out. There's nothing wrong with that spare tyre. That's a little spare. You need. If I was crossing the Gobi Desert, or indeed some other expanse of parched land, this would be the thing that would keep me going. This will go. This will be the first thing to go. But you can't just kind of, what a bacon slicer? I'm going to talk to people, and then there's a few imperfections. There is a little belly there. Yeah. But that won't be there long. A gentleman writes to me and says, I don't want to come over all Sean Coyle, but the TV was awful at the weekend. He's getting in before you do. Well, it wasn't until Liam Neeson went on a Parisian rampage, killing more men than Attila the Hun in the violently brilliant movie Taken. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, it's a great movie. It's got a great quote in it. Do you know what he does in the movie? And this is going to be one of the lines, and I've already heard it being quoted by a number of other people. There was a TV series which was very, very funny called The Trip with Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon. Did you see that?
No.
But that was the best thing ever on television. Very, very funny.
When was it on?
Recently, the two of them were travelling around just talking to one another. It was great, so funny. But one of the things they did talk about was this movie, and there's a line in it. What happens is that, I think, let me just remember what the plot was. Liam Neeson, I think his daughter.
His daughter's kidnapped.
Give me time to say it.
Oh,
his daughter is kidnapped, okay? And he's a professional kind of, I suppose he'd be a kind of a retired sort of SAS man. Do you know what I mean?
Very bad hair.
His parents may be listening.
I know, but that's why I whispered it.
It's
Just
still
in case
here.
there, because his mother lives and his sisters live close to my family in
Yes,
Ballymena.
indeed, I know.
Yeah,
Well,
but that's why I'm
lovely.
whispering it. That's why I'm whispering
Okay, will
it.
you be very careful
His
about
hair
what
is
you say
very
about people?
bad.
Stop it, will you?
No.
Yours is nothing to write home about. You're the only person I know who has clenched hair. Anyway, his daughter is kidnapped, and he comes out of retirement.
Wouldn't you
basically,
love to have it, wouldn't you?
I don't want your hair. I want.
You love to have my clenched hair.
I don't want your hair. I don't want your hair. I don't want your. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Take
I want the
anybody's
stuff.
hair.
I'm going to get the hair I'm going to take off my bum. Do you see my bum hair on the top of my head, boy? You'll.
Oh, don't you worry, I'll not be doing anything.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Anyway, he decides to go after these people himself, and he's an accomplished kind of assassin, basically. But these people don't know that. So he gets a phone number of a guy who thinks who's involved, right? And he phones this guy up, and he said, "I don't know who you are," he said, "but I will find you, and I will kill you." The presenter has a problem with jokes, or should he say people who tell him jokes and expect him to laugh when the jokes are completed. He is all at sea.
Johnny, I'm a ticket driver, you know.
Yes,
and
good man.
I was up in court there. I was accused of taking a bank machine out of the wall. And I was up in front of the judge, you know, and the jury came out and says, "Stanley, you're not guilty."
Yes.
And the judge says to me, "Stanley, you're not guilty. You're free to go."
Yes.
And on my way walking out of the court, I says, "Your worship, does that mean I can still keep the money?"
Yes.
And he says to me, "What do you say there?" I says, "Well, I'm only having a bit of a laugh, Your Honour." He says, "Well, I wouldn't like to think you were still holding on to that money, you know. Because I've awarded you not guilty, you know." So I just walked on out, Jerry, you know.
Did I miss something there?
I think that was a joke.
You see, this is what's wrong
I
with me.
think that was a joke.
What's this man, Stanley? Stanley, let me explain. I apologise.
Stanley has many, many names, by the way, and many, many jobs.
Stanley, let
He's
me...
now a digger driver. Before that, he was a taxi driver.
Stanley, let me explain to Stanley. You see,
Go
Stanley...
ahead, Jerry.
I have to explain
And
something.
Stanley was also an American president. Do you remember?
Hey, I'm sure he remembers, yeah?
No, but do you remember the American president? Remember the president of the United States of America used to come on and talk to you?
Oh, is that him?
Did you see? So he was also the president of the United States of America. He's also a taxi driver. Now he's a digger driver.
Bit of a Walter Mitty.
You see? So,
Jerry.
Let me
Jerry.
explain. No, Stanley, it's important that I explain this in case people think I'm being nasty. You see, there's something wrong with me. See, whenever someone tells me a joke, I never know when it's over. And I never know when to laugh. I can't deal with jokes. And I know there was a joke. Was there a joke in there somewhere? Was there a punchline there?
Ask Robert, was that a joke?
Robert?
Yeah, he's
It was
Robert.
Stanley a minute
yeah,
ago.
but he's back now to
Robert, well, can I ask you this? I'm not slagging you there. Was there a punchline in that joke there that I was supposed to laugh at? No,
Well,
I'm not
Jerry,
saying it wasn't funny.
Not guilty as you're free to go, and then on my way out of court, I says, "Does that mean keep the money?"
See, that's
You
the
know,
joke.
so it should have been
No,
awarded
no,
just
no,
me.
I see it. That's why it's no
Jerry,
point in
Jerry.
telling me. That's why none of the cameramen on the BBC will talk to me. You know, the cameramen always tell you jokes. You know, when they get a
Jerry,
moment off. Do you hear the one
Jerry.
about your man? What?
Robert wants to talk to you.
What's he want to talk to me for? I'm talking. Can't you hear me talking? Sorry, go ahead, Robert. Jim,
Jerry, I bought a brand new Porsche last week.
a brand new what?
Porsche.
A Porsche. Sorry.
Yeah, and I went into my local bar, you know,
It's another joke.
and I ordered my usual pint and gin and tonic.
Yeah.
And I put the gin and tonic in my head and took a wee sip out of the glass of harp, you know. And I started crying for 2 minutes. And then I started laughing for 2 minutes.
Yes.
And all the locals in the bar and the barman got round me and says, "You know, you come in, you ordered your usual pint, in your gin and tonic and you put that to your head and you took your usual sip out of the pint.
Yeah.
I've never seen you crying before and laughing.
Uh-huh.
I says, well, I bought a brand new Porsche and the mother-in-law just drove it off a cliff.
Yeah.
Did you catch that, Jerry?
See?
No.
You didn't catch that? Well, I was crying because I bought a new Porsche, Jerry, and I was laughing because the mother-in-law drove it off a cliff.
Right.
You see?
Yeah.
It's no good to me.
No.
It's no good to you, Jerry.
I can't laugh at anything. I don't.
But, Jerry, you want to keep walking down Royal Avenue.
Could you try another one?
Try another one. Do you know what it's like? This is like Some Like It Hot. Do you remember Marilyn Monroe? Do you remember Tony Curtis was playing the part of his man and he said he was frigid and no woman could excite him and she kept kissing him? That's like me now, isn't it? You know, I'm not saying Stanley or Jim or Robert that you should kiss me, but what I'm saying is you keep telling me jokes to make sure that I'm like a normal person. And it doesn't matter. I can't. Jokes are no good to me. I can't laugh at them.
Your favourite joke, Robert? What is it? Tell us it.
That was my favourite
Oh,
joke.
that'd be, oh, gee. Oh, well,
That's me hammered then.
it,
Anyway, Jim,
Go on, that was my favourite joke.
it's tongue twister time, which to any radio broadcaster is what patriotism is to the scoundrel, the last refuge, the final sign that all inspiration has dried up. There's something I need to tell you, but it's really hard to say. Ken Dogg's dad's dog's dead.
It's quite easy to say, isn't it?
Ken Dogg's dad's dog's dead. Go
Ken
on, say it.
Dodd's dad's dog's dead.
Ken Dodd's dad's dog's dead.
It's not a bit hard to say.
I know. That's because we've been
The
trained
last time I laughed out loud was last week.
1968.
No, Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Mrs. Brown's Boys is...
I laughed out loud.
Mrs. Brown's Boys is he needs a scriptwriter.
But it's not bad for him for what he's doing.
Yeah, but it's too long. It's 15 minutes long. He said there's 15 minutes. He needs somebody else to write the other 15 minutes. There's too many longueurs between the good bits. So he needs a showrunner. He needs some guy to say, you know, you need a line here, you need a line here.
You sound as though you're touting for a job.
And he's smell money.
Yes.
Every time you're asked to play Roy Orbison Penny Arcade, you never play it. You're absolutely right. Morning, Airbrush Anderson. Do you know the title of a song about a butcher's son? My granny used to sing it. Butcher Boy.
What's that? What's the Butcher Boy?
Butcher Boy.
What's the Butcher Boy? I know that title, but I
know
don't
you do.
know the song.
Missing since Sunday morning, two Choc Lab female dogs. What does that mean, Choc Lab?
Chocolate Labrador.
Really?
Yeah.
Choc?
Chocolate.
Oh, you mean
coloured.
chocolate coloured?
Yeah.
There's things I don't know.
Yeah.
Since Sunday morning, two chocolate Labrador female dogs, 1 to 1.5 years old. 1.5 years old? 15 months, Lower Ballinderry area. A large reward offered. Be still my beating heart. Oh, here's a joke, look. I always know when my mother-in-law's on her way round. The mice in my house throw themselves on the mouse traps. See, that's what happens when you start telling about jokes. People
That's when you
talk
say,
about
oh,
jokes.
shut up.
The death of Coilus interruptus cannot be far away. All the signs are there. The irregular heartbeat, the grey pallor, the vultures circling overhead.
I was thinking about dying this morning.
Why didn't you? Then you wouldn't have had to come in. I could have done the programme on my own. It'd been all right for a day or two. Got somebody else then.
I was wondering,
You thinking about dying this morning?
I was thinking about
dying, this morning.
aye.
Uh-huh.
And
what are your feelings about that?
this last couple of months, I've been thinking about death.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. I don't know what's
How cheerful is that?
it's just
Well, you
this-
see, you feel mortality weighing upon your shoulders, the mortal coil all about to be shrugged off. You don't have many years left, you know.
No, do you know what I was thinking?
You have more behind you than you have in front of you.
Oh, I know that. But I'm thinking,
You're in the twilight of your years. If your life was a year, this is November. But what does he think?
no, I was thinking,
October?
yesterday I had a
I'm
yesterday I had a
30th.
nice day. I had a nice day yesterday.
And you said I could end this now.
no,
be
and
happy.
I said to myself, reflecting this morning and looking back, I said, I don't want this to end.
That day yesterday.
I was thinking about yesterday.
Oh, you went to a furniture shop, didn't you?
And I went to a furniture shop. I went to a furniture shop and then I went...
Yesterday I had the greatest day in my life. I will never forget it as long as I live. I went to a furniture shop. Goodbye. Thank you for listening.